Welcome to Investigate with Kate. Today we'll be interviewing Liz Koh from the news station. In my opinion, the 80s is the best decade for music. How would you describe your job using an 80s song title?
First of all, I think you're right. 80s is one of the best decades for music, if not the best. I'll give you that. Oh, that's a great question. So, a song that I personally love, but I also think describes the job, is Under Pressure by Queen. I love that song, because it's kind of about facing your fears and getting to reality about what life and adulthood is. That's what this job is, too. A lot of the times you're dealing with a lot of things that are happening in real life, right? A lot of the news events of the world.
Yeah.
But you have to face it. You're under pressure to face all these things. You're under pressure to get that story in under a deadline. And so I feel like that's a very fitting song. Great question.
How did you decide to become a news anchor?
So it's funny that you asked that. I didn't know when I was in high school, when I was applying for colleges, I did not know what I wanted to be. I was trying to find a career, and my dad said, you know what? A stable job is a great job. And so he said, you should pursue pharmacy. You can get a job anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. They always need pharmacists. I said, okay, I don't like science or math, but okay, I can find a job. Well, beyond all of that, I love talking with people. I love hearing their stories, and I loved the newspaper and yearbook in high school. So a friend said, well, how about broadcast journalism? So I looked further into that, and then I ended up applying to the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and I declared as a broadcast journalism major, and I have not looked back since.
And that answers another question.
Okay.
If you were not a news anchor, what would your dream job be?
See, now I think I have a different answer to that.
Oh.
I think my dream job would be either a veterinarian or a teacher, because I love dogs, I love cats, I love pets, but I also love children. I love seeing when they learn something and they get that spark that they got it. I think that's one of the best feelings. And I get that with my niece and nephew, and just students that I've worked with at LSU. I taught for a little bit. It's fun to see that connection and that spark, and it's really rewarding.
What is the funniest thing that has happened to you as a news anchor?
Oh, that's a good question. One of the funniest things that happened, here's a recent memory, is the state fair, the Greater Baton Rouge State Fair that always sets up. The morning that they kind of get everything going, we always go out there live and do live shots about all the different things that the state fair has this upcoming year. And so one year they had axe throwing and they had log rolling. Have you heard of either of those things?
I've heard of axe throwing, and I've heard of log rolling.
Okay.
It's like where you walk on the log.
Yes. So it looks easy, right?
No.
I thought it did look easy. I was like, he's just running really quickly on that log. He's making it look real easy.
You tried it?
I did, and I fell right in, and it was about 49 degrees that day that we were doing it. And so this is all on live TV.
Was it like over mud or something?
No, it was just under like a pool of water. So they had those logs set up all over like a big old pool, but it's maybe comes up to your hips. So it's not like you would drown or anything, but they make it look really easy, make it seem like you can do it too. And so I get up on there and I'm running. I fall in within 2-3 seconds, and it was cold. It was really cold.
What time do you have to wake up to get to work for the morning news?
That's a good question. So what time would you guess? Just if you had to guess what time. I like always to ask people because it's funny.
What time is the news show?
So our first show starts at 4:30 in the morning. Early.
Okay, so I would guess about 3 o'clock.
That's a pretty good guess. So I wake up. My first alarm goes off at 1:30 in the morning.
What?
My co-anchor, his probably goes off at midnight. Yeah, and he wakes up around 12:15, and he's at the station by 1:15. So, and then our producers, they come in at 11 p.m. the whole night before to prepare for the morning show. Yeah, it's a labor-intensive, labor of love, a big old process that it's a teamwork effort. There's no way that me and my co-anchor can do it. We need a whole team of people, so we all kind of stagger throughout the night.
What is something you learned in elementary school that you use every day in your job?
Oh, this is a great question. In elementary school, I learned to love how to read. And it's funny because now every day I am reading. I'm reading not only for the show, my stories ahead of time, I'm reading in the prompter. I'm also reading as I do research on the stories that we're presenting every day. You have to learn to love to read to do what we do day to day. But I think overall, no matter what your job is, your dream job or the job that you're currently doing, reading is so important because it bridges a connection to people. It bridges a connection to different cultures and different experiences. And that really opens a gateway to everything that you want to know about, right? Because if you're curious, you can learn anything you need to know by reading.
Okay. Do you think it's more important to be smart or beautiful as a news reporter?
Oh,
Before you answer,
okay.
I'm going to try to guess.
Okay.
I think it would be good to be smarter.
I agree with you because at the end of the day, when viewers watch the news program, they're going to want information. Sure, they like looking at a pretty package, but they want to know what's going on in the world, right? And you have to be smart to understand how to tell a story because somebody can give you the same story, the same list of facts, but if you told it in a really crazy and confusing way that didn't make sense to anyone, it's no good, right? It's not really a story. So you have to be smart enough to know, first of all, what is a story and how to present it.
What advice would you give to someone like me that is interested in pursuing a career in broadcast journalism?
I suggest that you learn how to tell stories. And I think you're already doing that, right? You've got your channel, you do interviews, and you're doing a great job telling stories. Keep doing that. And I think the more you talk with people and learn about their jobs or their history or what makes them excited to do their jobs, this is going to set you up for a path in broadcast journalism because you're already doing what we do day to day. You're telling good stories. And I also suggest finding stories that interest you, right? You're doing a great job reaching out to people and finding out, well, I think I'd want to learn about this. Keep finding good stories and you'll find which ones that really, really get your heart thumping, get you excited about telling good stories. But also, maybe it'll lead to a path where if you don't want to do broadcast journalism, well, what if you decide you want to do a career in forensic science, or maybe you want to be a surgeon, or whatever it may be? You might find something that really unlocks a passion to do something else you might be interested in. You could do that at the same time simultaneously as being a journalist too. You just never know. The options are endless. But I think you're already doing what I'm suggesting.
Thank you for joining us today with Investigate with Kate. Make sure to check out 9 News, WAFB,